Hi everyone, this is Dr. Salcedo, your conscious gynecologist. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to be talking about the 3 things that cause uterine fibroids, and they're not just your genes. I know that you've had many gynecologists tell you that your fibroids are just because you had the right genes, and that's not completely true. If you're interested, go ahead and like this video, share this video. There's so much to teach about this, and I'm just so glad you're here. Let's get to it. So, as you know, I'm the conscious gynecologist. I try to treat female problems by looking at the root cause. And yes, some genetic components do help with creating uterine fibroids. There's actually a concept of epigenetics that I'm going to teach you about. Epigenetics means that you have to have the right collection of genes to turn on certain physical symptoms, but your environment is actually what turns them on. And so yes, number one of the first things that cause uterine fibroids is you have to have the genes. Now, there is not like one uterine fibroid gene, but there's a collection of what we call polymorphisms, a collection of genes that are on our DNA that actually need to be present to create a fibroid. And you have to have these certain environmental factors that I will teach you about to turn them on. So this genetic predisposition that kind of follows through families, you have to have that in order to create a uterine fibroid. And that's also very similar and related to our body type. Some women, and a lot of women who have uterine fibroids, are known to be very slender, but they're more apple-shaped, or pear-shaped rather. They have this, like, they're thin on the top, but towards their hips, they're a little bit wider, and they tend to carry their inflammation, their fatty tissue around their hips and thighs. And it's usually that kind of body type that will predispose someone to getting uterine fibroids. So yes, genes is the first thing. But the second thing, just as equally as important, is the female hormones. And I know you know this. The female hormones of estrogen, progesterone actually help feed the fibroid to make it grow, okay? And so that's a no-brainer. You have to have the genes and you have to have the female hormones to help make it grow. But this is where it gets very important. The third key player to create uterine fibroids is inflammation, okay? Your body has to receive the inflammatory insult to actually cause those genes to turn on, to actually allow estrogen and progesterone to make the fibroid grow. And what are those inflammatory factors? Well, there's many, but the big ones that I see in my practice are among women who smoke or vape. So remember, smoking and vaping cause a lot of introduction of inflammation molecules, damaging smoke molecules to come into our bloodstream, and that will cause damage to the blood vessels that will lead to uterine fibroids within our uterus. So that's the first thing. The second thing is starch or sugar. So any kind of starches or sugar actually damage the blood vessels at the level of the lumen, the internal capsule of our blood vessel. And that actually allows more inflammatory molecules to leak into those blood vessels, causing calcifications and almost like atherosclerosis of the uterus. And so starches and sugars, high fructose corn syrup, those are all things that cause irritation to the blood vessels. And remember, your uterus is one big blood vessel. And so that irritation allows your body to cause inflammation that will try to repair itself. And over it becomes calcified and it turns into a fibroid. And so absolutely, starches and sugars are crazy irritants that will cause uterine fibroids for women who have that predisposition. The next thing is chronic stress. I have done many surgeries on women who have giant uterine fibroids when they're really young, and we come to find out that they've had significant stressors in their life. Unfortunately, maybe some of them have had not great families where they saw their parents arguing. Maybe they didn't feel safe. Maybe they saw a significant trauma where someone got hurt in front of them. Maybe they were the recipient of some childhood sexual abuse. Something that makes someone feel unsafe activates the trauma response. And the trauma response brings adrenaline and sugar so that we can fight the bear that's trying to come and get us. But if we can't discharge that trauma, then those sugar levels are always there. They're always elevated, and our body needs to create insulin and in order to bring down the sugar levels. And if we have to bring insulin to bring down the sugar levels, then on its own, that insulin is really inflammatory and causes damage to our blood vessels. So chronic stress and traumas significantly elevate our risk to have uterine fibroids. Finally, vitamin deficiencies. This is a huge one. When I see women in the clinic and we do a metabolic panel to look at how their body is processing normal things and what they might be deficient in, one of the big ones that I see is vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is a wonderful immune modulator. It helps support our immune system, and many women who have uterine fibroids are actually deficient in this really important hormone that honestly we can only get by being outside for 15 minutes a day. Now, if that's hard or not easy to do in your lifestyle, you can definitely supplement with vitamin D3 capsules and go ahead and talk with your doctor about the right dosing for you. But by and large, I see many women with uterine fibroids who have significant vitamin deficiencies, particularly vitamin D3. I really hope that you can understand that there are three main players that activate and cause uterine fibroids. We know them to be genes and genetic predisposition, the female hormones, and inflammation triggers all together activate your uterus to create those unwanted effects of uterine fibroids. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and like it, subscribe, and if you're interested in a consultation and you're in California, go ahead and text me or give me a phone call. The number is 840-688-0297. We'll be happy to create a consultation in order to help get to the root cause of your gynecologic disease. Thanks so much.